and viewers, welcome to this session. We have already discussed about social audit and gender audit. I have defined what is social audit and what is gender audit. In continuation of my previous lecture, today we will going to further discuss about the steps and benefits of social audit and familiarizing with the best practices of social auditing. These are the two learning objectives as far as today's session is concerned. Myself, Dr. G. Uma, faculty in the School of Gender and Development Studies. You all must have already joined in the course MGSC 002, Gender Auditing and Gender Budgeting. This lecture is part of the course Gender Auditing and Gender Budgeting. Welcome to this session. Let me explain what are the steps to do the social audit. There are 6 steps of social auditing. This process, the 6-step process, I am going to explain in this lecture. Apart from explaining 6 steps in doing social audit, I am going to give you one case study briefly about how the social auditing has happened in the field. Let me start with step 1. Step 1 is the preparatory activities. In this step 1, one must understand key principles of social audit. Before you get into the process of doing social audit, first one must understand the key principles of social audit and list core values of the department and programs. Whatever the programs one would like to do social auditing, whichever the department one going to undertake the process of social auditing, we must list the core values of the department and programs in which the social auditing process is going to conducted. List down social objectives of the department is working towards or programs it aims to contribute. Next, significant activities. As far as step 1 is concerned, match our activities with the objectives. We have to list the current practices and delivery system, and we have to fix the responsibility for doing social audit in the department. And one must, before we start doing the social auditing, one must allocate required budget to carry out the social audit. This is the first step as far as social auditing is concerned. The step 2 is defining audit boundaries and identifying stakeholders. This is the very significant step. Like when you start doing the social audit, one must understand what is social audit, why do we carry out the social audit, and we need to define the boundaries. There are various financial audit is there, other audits as far as any department or any institution is concerned. So, we have to define the boundaries of social audit and identify who are all the stakeholders in this entire process. These are the 2 significant activities as far as step 2 is concerned. In this step 2, one must elaborate key issues for social auditing based on the social objectives, and one must prepare a statement of purpose, objectives, key issues and activities for social auditing. This is very important. Like we have to prepare a statement of purpose. Why do we want to do the social auditing? That is the first thing. Second one is, what are the objectives of doing the social audit? Which are the key issues are we going to address when we do or when we conduct social auditing, and the activities for social auditing. In this step 2, other few key points one must keep in mind before we start the social auditing process. There we need to identify key stakeholders for consultations. Once we complete the process of social auditing, whatever the result comes, that we need to consult with the government and civil society organization who are working in the field. So, we need to identify who are all the stakeholders for consultation as far as government and civil society organization is concerned. We need to forge consensus on audit boundaries, identify stakeholders and formalize commitments. Each stakeholders, what is their commitments? Whether they are ready to provide, give commitments, and what is their commitments. If once they agree to commit certain activities as far as social auditing is concerned, then they have to respect those commitments and they have to implement when we conduct social auditing. Step 3, as far as social auditing is concerned, social accounting and bookkeeping. This is the significant step as far as social auditing is concerned. We have to select the performance indicators for social accounting, identify which existing records can be used. That is very important. Whatever the records that are available with regard to particular, how will I say that, in a particular program, or if you would like to audit certain activities of the government or certain activities of the civil society organizations, identify which existing records can be used to do the social audit. Identify what additional data to be collected, who would collect this data, and when are we going to collect the data, how are we going to collect the data. This we need to remember, and we need to identify when stakeholders would be consulted and for what. For what are we going to consult these stakeholders, and like once you identify the stakeholders and from which stakeholders are we going to consult for what purpose, and prepare a social accounting plan and timeline plan for monitoring social accounting activities. Like so far I have explained the significant 3 steps as far as social auditing process is concerned. Once we have completed the process till step 3, now we are entering into step 4. In this step 4, the significant activities as far as step 4 is concerned. The step 4 is, we call step 4 as preparing and using social accounts. In this step 4, we need to take up the activities like we need to prepare a social accounts using existing information, data collected and views of stakeholders, identify key issues for action, take stock of objectives, activities and core values, and set targets for future. As far as step 5 is concerned, that step 5 we call it as social audit and dissemination. In this step 5, the significant processes are presenting social accounts to social auditor. Social auditor verifies data used, assess the interpretation and comment on the quality of social accounting and reporting. Social accounts revised in accordance with social auditor's recommendation. The social auditor has to collect information from the stakeholders regarding program implementation and benefits accrued to them. Then significant process in this step is to disseminate social auditor's consolidated report to the decision making committee that includes stakeholders, and we need to disseminate report to civil society, and we need to begin next cycle of social accounting. The final step as far as social auditing is concerned, it's a step 4, we call it as feedback and institutionalization of social audit. In this step, we need to feedback for fine tuning policy, we need to get a feedback for legislation, administrative functioning and programming towards social objectives, and we need to take up the follow-up action and reviewing support to civil society for its participation and institutionalization of the process. These are the various steps as far as social auditing is concerned. Now let us see levels of social auditing. In which level one can conduct the social audit, that is also very important. One can view social audit at 2 levels. There are 2 levels one could able to do the social audit. Level 1 is at the organizational level. Any organization we could be able to do social auditing, government, private and NGOs. Another level is that civil society level. In that civil society level, one could do social auditing in private, non-governmental organization, community-based organization, even one could do social auditing with the universities, schools, consumer organizations, self-help groups and even individual also. At any level, one could able to do the process of social auditing. So, there are 2 levels. One is at the organizational level and another one is the civil society level. As far as organization level is concerned, it is internal as well as external. Internal component corresponds to social accounting and social bookkeeping, whereas external component involves verification of social account by an independent social auditor or an audit panel. Community or societal level audit is carried out to gather data on community values, social benefits, social capital and quality of department or program interface with people. This is matched with the outcomes of social audit carried out at the organization or department level. Based on the analysis, the program or its activities are oriented towards community or society's expectation. Social audit at community level also contributes to the empowerment of civil society, equity, networking and advocacy. The social audit consists of bookkeeping and discussion with stakeholders and community in their settings. These methods include social accounting, stakeholder consultation, interviewing of staff, NGO functionaries, beneficiaries or anyone directly or indirectly affected by the programs or department activities. All these are simple to use tools and any department should be able to undertake social audit by going through this toolkit. The objectives of the organization are the starting point from where the indicators of impact are determined, the stakeholders are identified and the tools for data collection are designed in detail. Social bookkeeping records, stakeholder consultation as well as data from the community are collected and maintained by the organization or department concerned. Ideally, a panel of eminent citizens of unimpeachable integrity and social commitment should review the social bookkeeping annually. This aspect of social audit sometimes includes independent audit through the intensive interface with the variety of stakeholder and the community. Social audit report can be placed in the public domain for wider dissemination. These reports could be further used by the variety of stakeholders, including policy makers, to bring about appropriate changes if required to maximize social benefits. I would like to here given one example of best practices. It was location is all NREG's National Rural Employment Guarantee Program implementation districts in Andhra Pradesh. Agent or who facilitated or conducted social audit is Department of Rural Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh. Process of social audit. The social audit process begins with the filing of application under the Right to Information Act 2005 with a program officer at the mandal level. Social audits are conducted by village level mandal committee or literate youth from laborer families who are identified and trained as village social auditors. These social auditors are identified in the open meeting of Gram Sabha. The process is facilitated by state and district resource person drawn from civil society organization having experience of working on strengthening and establishing people's rights at the grassroots level. During the social audit process, 100% verification of muster rolls and works is done through door-to-door campaigning, focused group discussion and organizing of Gram Sabhas. The implementation of the non-negotiable workers' entitlements of the employment guarantee scheme is also seen. Awareness generation of wage seekers on their rights and entitlements under the scheme is an integral part of the social audit process. The process culminates at the mandal level public meeting held on the pre-notified date in the presence of public, political representatives and officials and EGS functionaries where village-wise social audit reports are read out, followed by the public testimonies and corrective action. The Mandal Parishad Development Officer or Additional Program Officer shall extend cooperation for conduct of social audit by giving the required information and records on the scheme and shall necessarily participate in the social audit public meeting. At no stage will there be any interference by the administration in the actual social audit process. For effective implementation of the program and also to build trust of the people, it is important that the administrative machinery takes immediate corrective action on the issues arising out of the social audits. The project directors will be reviewed on this subject in the EGS meetings. Pre-social audit preparatory work as far as this case study is concerned. The preparatory work was started with the training of 35 resource persons drawn from unions and NGOs having 10 to 15 years of experience of working on people's issues at the grassroots level. In every NREGA Andhra Pradesh district, a pool of district resource persons, approximately 20 per districts, were trained on social audit. In the process of training modules, 2 training films and step-by-step procedure for doing social audit were developed. The district resource persons then went into villages of the mandal and identified active literate youth from the laborers' families. These youth were trained in social audit process over a 3-day period. The training included main features of EGS, social audit processes, and the study of the EGS records pertaining to that mandal. The resource persons were put in different teams which were allotted villages. Information gathering and analysis. As far as this exercise is concerned, the process of information collection begin with the filing of application with the mandal level officer or assistant program officer by the district resource persons under the Right to Information Act for relevant records of the employment guarantee schemes in the mandal. Information sharing and discussion. Social audits were conducted by the literate youth from the laborers' families. The social audit process at the village level consisted of door-to-door verification of the muster rolls, focused group discussions and night gram sabhas. At the mandal level, the social audit process culminated in the public meeting where social audit reports were read out in the presence of the public, people's representatives, the concerned EGS functionaries and senior officers of the government. What are the impact of social audit? After the process of social audit, misappropriated money more than 1 crore 25 lakhs were recovered from people. During the process, EGS functionaries who were found to be involved in misappropriation and embezzlement of money from the EGS were terminated. These people were reported to have, like fraudulently, they have taken money by creating fake muster rolls, inflated bills, exaggerated measures, as well as non-existent works, all through bribes and cuts from the wage seekers. In addition, corrective actions were taken during the social audit meeting by the project director and the senior officials present. What impact further I could be able to explain. 15-day follow-up and appraisal. Social audit team members visit to mandals every 15 days after the completion of social audit, ensure that the decisions taken during the public meeting were complied with. In Andhra Pradesh, the process raised awareness among laborers and also successfully empowered them for their rights. Laborers took center stage, participating enthusiastically in the verification process, listening avidly in the Gram Sabha, testifying in public meetings, forgiving those who harassed them, requesting re-induction of functionaries who took bribes from them, querying about how much wages they actually got with passbook in their hands, and physically protecting the social audit team members. In continuation, I would like to explain more about this case study. This case study was conducted in Andhra Pradesh. In this case study, one could able to see the entire best practices and how to conduct the social auditing as far as government programs are concerned. This case study is about the National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. So, why do we want to conduct the social auditing as far as National Rural Employment Guarantee Program? Because in that program, many of the unskilled rural people, laborers, they take work during the lean agricultural season. When they take up the work, they will be paid by the government. So, it is important to know that whether they have properly got their entitlement as a workers, whether they got the proper entitlements or not, whether the wage seekers, do they aware about this particular program. It is the responsibility of the Gram Panchayat to explain about the program. It is they have to conduct the Gram Sabha meeting. In that Gram Sabha meeting, the Panchayat has to identify the wage laborers who would like to be part of the or who would like to seek the employment from the National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. The entire process has to be carried out by the Gram Panchayat. When we conduct this social audit, it is important to first we need to file the application under the Right to Information Act with the program officer at the mandal level. So, like social audit, when we conduct the social audit, it is a process. One must know how to conduct the social audit, what are the informations they have to collect from the government because government, most of the records related to National Employment Guarantee Program must be kept in the government office. It is important to train the youth about the Right to Information Act as well as the process of conducting the social auditing. So, this is the very important. During the social audit process, it is important to verify the muster rolls work, like they have to conduct door-to-door campaign and what are the works are carried out as far as this program is concerned, and they have to conduct the focus group discussion. For the conducting focus group discussion itself the skill. So, we need to train the youth on focus group discussion and the objectives of conducting the focus group discussion and how to conduct the focus group discussion, as well as it is important to make them to understand the Gram Sabha, the concept of Gram Sabha, why do we need to conduct the Gram Sabha, how to organize the Gram Sabha, how to collaborate with the Panchayat, Gram Panchayats and conduct the Gram Sabha. These are the very significant process as far as social auditing is concerned. When we conduct this social audit, the implementation of the non-negotiable workers' entitlements of the employment guarantee scheme is also, we need to see that. So, there should be awareness generation of wage seekers on their rights and entitlements under the scheme is an integral part of the social audit process. This process culminates at the mandal level meetings, like first we need to in some of the, it's a middle level panchayat, the process will start at the middle level administrative unit. Once the middle level administrative unit, once we complete this entire process at the middle level administrative unit, we need to, the government or the committee who is conducting the social auditing, they have to pre-notify date in the presence of public, political representatives, officials and employment guarantee scheme functionaries, where village-wise social audit reports are read out, followed by the public testimonies and corrective action. So, it is like the process of conducting a social audit itself a big process. Once we properly conduct that itself provide the awareness among the workers who were part of this program. Once they get an awareness, they could able to ask the government officials or Panchayat representatives whether they properly getting their entitlements or not. If they don't get their entitlements, it is once they know the entire scheme, then they could able to ask for their entitlements, and that can be became a corrective step to implement any government program successfully at the grassroots level. Hope you could able to understand the entire social auditing process through this case study. Thank you so much for listening this lecture. Thank you.